Is this sabotaging your true success? Achievement is a survival instinct, but is it killing your authenticity and purpose? Let's find out. Welcome to Motivational Mondays with your host, Red. I hope this uplifts, inspires, and transforms you to live better than best. Now, let's dive in. Welcome back to the Motivational Monday podcast. My name is Red Wallace, mindset coach. I help creatives just like you find freedom and fulfillment by transforming the way they think about themselves and their craft, then create a tailor-made structure to get unstuck and move forward towards their dreams and goals. What is your why? If you're thinking about stepping out into the unknown and turning your passion into purpose in a full-time career, this is an important and essential question to ask yourself. Why do you want to do what you want to do? Why do you want to do what you want to do? Is this because you feel called to a purpose? Is this because you feel burnt out and overwhelmed in your current day job? If it's the latter, it's important to understand the reason you were feeling overwhelmed. We are in a culture that values success above most, if not all things. Success can be a wonderful thing when it comes from a place of authenticity and purpose and alignment. However, success does not always equal happiness or fulfillment, especially when we chase it blindly with no sense of purpose, and we use that success as a measure of our own self-value, identity, and worth. Many of us subconsciously chase success out of unrelenting need to be perfect, to gain external validation that we never got in childhood, and to prove ourselves worthy of love. In the book, How to Do the Work, Dr. Nicole LaPrey writes that overachievers feel seen, heard, and valued through success and achievement, uses external validation as a way to cope with low self-worth, believes that the only way to receive love is through achievement. As overachievers, we often use our careers as a way to distract ourselves from unhealed wounds and keep ourselves busy enough to avoid any real type of intimacy. This was true for me. I chased success for years, constantly striving, ignoring my authentic self while chasing achievement after achievement for validation and using work as a way to ignore my past and pain. It never worked in making me successful. Sure, I got to a point where I was making enough to be comfortable, but still not satisfied. I was even doing the Lord's work, as some Christians would say, because I had a job in ministry, seeing lives changed daily through the videos I edited, the graphics I made, but my identity was in the performance of making deadlines, pleasing my bosses, and I was addicted to the validation that came knowing that I was the hardest working person there, that I ate lunch at my desk so I could work through lunch, that I was the first one to the office, I was staying late to finish the projects. It was great until I woke up one day and realized enough's enough. I was depressed, unfulfilled, and I was doing anything I could to avoid feeling this huge gap in my life. Constantly overworking myself and striving for perfection burnt me out. I didn't want to stay in this job anymore, but I had no idea where I wanted to go. I had no idea what truly made me happy or what would be fulfilling to me. The thought of being anything less than perfect and anything less than achieving things seemed like a failure to me. Plus, the money I was making was a form of validation, protection, security. It felt so safe and comfortable. I didn't want to risk that. But after we went through one of the toughest years that hit all of us, I'm sure, and the coming of our first son was on the horizon, my view began to shift. I chose to take a leap with no plan B other than to stay home and be a parent and raise our son, which it's been great, but I still had this hole inside that longed to do something great. Many of us had childhoods that didn't allow us to express ourselves truly. For those who were abandoned in some way as a child, whether through abuse or neglect, or had parents who pushed them to be a certain way, we were not allowed to feel heard or seen. As a result, we abandoned our true selves and our true wants. We learned to survive by ignoring our authenticity and excessively relying on one of our 4 human survival responses: fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. Knowing this was why I became a stay-at-home parent, but little did I know that I first had to learn how to be a son before I could be a better father. Perfectionism and drivenness are actually flight responses and survival instincts for emotional abandonment as a child. In his book, Complex PTSD from Surviving to Thriving, therapist Pete Walker writes that many flight types perpetually stay busy and industrious to avoid being triggered by deeper relating. Others also work obsessively to perfect themselves, hoping to someday become worthy enough for love. Such flight types have a great difficulty showing anything but their perfect persona. When developed healthily, the flight response ensures good boundaries, assertiveness, and healthy self-protection when necessary. When constantly relied on as a need for survival or an attempt to cope with unhealed wounds, our survival instincts impair our ability to relax in an undefended state. It also dulls our awareness of our past traumas and distracts us from our feelings of misalignment. This leads to workaholicism, the person who's always on, the Enneagram type 3s or type 1s, personalities who rush to be achievers and be perfect, the perfectionist, the overachiever. This leads to constant doing, worrying, or planning when you are not doing. This leads to burying ourselves in work to avoid authenticity and vulnerability. This leads to anxiety, panic, burnout, and in more extreme cases, addiction, depression, and sometimes even suicide. And as the writer above stated in her book, it can be devastating for those in traditionally desired professions who struggle to cope with the misalignment of their careers. They use substances, experience mental health issues, and in extreme cases, even commit suicide. And Walker further illustrates this by writing, flight types are also susceptible to the process of addictions, of workaholicism and busyholicism. To keep their processes humming, they can deteriorate into stimulating substance addictions. As entrepreneurs, as creators, we want to build our businesses and put out our brands and our craft authentically and with purpose. We want to work hard but avoid burnout. We want to feel aligned with what we are building and making and creating. We don't want to use our business or our gifts as a distraction from life. We want to use it to create the lives we love. If you tend to be the perfectionist or the overachiever, you may consider that there are childhood wounds you still need to heal. Only when I started my healing process was I able to truly connect to myself and find a career and a place where I felt truly aligned to. Healing helped me grow my business from a state of peace instead of panic. Healing helped me grow my business with the goal of impact instead of validation or achievement. When you grow your business from a place of authenticity and alignment, you have the opportunity to create impactful success and build a fulfilling life you feel aligned to. It's never too late to start the healing process and build your fulfilling life. I want to give you permission to choose healing over achieving. The task can wait, the goal will be there, but you must first work on you. You must first work on you before you can fully be present for others. This is why I want to offer you the opportunity to schedule a free Zoom call coaching session with me. In this call, I would love to get to know you a little bit more and really dive into some of your thoughts, some of your mindsets, your goals, your dreams, and help you shift those mindsets and moving forward towards living a better than best life. If you want to do that, you'll see my Calendly link in the description. If you would like more content like this, then hit that subscribe button, like this video, and comment what you got most out of it. And as always, friend, I'm praying for you. I love you. Now let's go live better than best as we stop self-sabotaging, stop trying to be perfect, and live our better than best life.